What is a big no-no in coding? Lack of proper version control. At my company, some teams of developers send their code contributions via email to the team leader, who manually pastes the code into his local master. Then the team leader sends out the new copy of the repo via SharePoint. In another team at my current company, people write their code in a Word doc and attach that to a comment in the relevant Jira thread. Wrapping your entire code in a try-catch block to prevent any exception from being thrown. It's like duct taping something that was broken as means to fix it. Vague comments, because you'll remember what this does. Don't check it in if it doesn't compile. Who does that? Arrant nogus things that still work but are not accepted by the majority? I was a student assistant for a senior level computer science class for computer engineers. Almost 75% of submitted projects wouldn't compile. I'm guessing they thought that I would read their code like an essay. Lol, no. If it doesn't compile, it's 90 points off. Literally, a project that compiles and doesn't do anything would get a higher grade than a project that won't compile. Do not use the N-word as placeholder or as the name of anything. You will forget to change it. Lack of refactoring. Piece of logic that needs to be used multiple times in various places. Instead of typing out that logic each time, why not create a method which contains it and call that method instead? Refactoring is always a problem. Most people get to the point where their code works and refuse to mess with the monster they have created in fear of breaking the ever-loving shit out of it. In the real world, prototyping. Yes, it's something you should do. But as my first boss once told me, the problem with prototyping is that the second anyone sees it, they'll want you to build off that code. So make sure whatever you do the first time is designed how you want it to be designed. Oh. Hell. Yes. I had a 10-year-old prototype in production until last year. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Nope. Sorry boss, but you are not qualified to say how broke it is. Magic numbers. Use a well-named variable instead. Not commenting your code. Pushing code to production on a Friday afternoon. On the start of a long holiday weekend. What could go wrong? Editing your code live on the server. Not documenting your project. The worst developer experience is working with third-party components that have poor to non-existent documentation. Having to read source code, if available, to understand how an API works is just really annoying. Fixing a defect and then throwing it over the wall to CAF for testing without first testing it yourself. Please, just stop. Tell your friends you're all gonna make a video game one day when you're 16 in high school and know nothing about code. Boy, that was dumb. If you need comments to remind you what your variables are, you're probably doing something wrong. Use descriptive variable names. Writing code in your native language instead of English. I have seen Russian code where they even added aliases for everything, like integer, string, array, for. I don't know why I clicked on this thread. I don't have a goddamn clue what any of you are saying. Do you want a job? You sound like management material. Go to may be perfectly fine in C when you want to jump to an error handling section at the end of the function. All other techniques I've seen to do that are just elaborate and inconsistent tricks to avoid writing the go to keyword. No unit tests. Dyslexia. Inconsistency. A codebase should read like it was written by a single developer. Updating a production database directly. If you work somewhere that even gives you the ability to do this, it's just a matter of time before someone forgets a where clause and updates an entire database or accidentally drops a real production DB. I know because I did it once when I was younger. Why is this update button running so long? What are all these MLs coming in? Close bracket. One source file with 10k lines of code or 10k files with one line of code. Like everything else in coding, not too few, not too much. Well, and in univ we had a comment specifying unit of ms const double speed equals 4. 3 // index / second. Professor was somewhat amused.